On
folks.
Discord. There we go.
Hello, everyone.
What's up, George?
Happy Monday.
New place.
This is wrong.
I'm back in Hios, but I'm in a different room.
There you go.
I have a nice comfy chair now. You can see this big ass chair. It's really quite nice. So I just put my laptop on a table and kind of sit here.
Right on.
Big ass chairs are the best.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So, shall we jump in and do we want to do a run through the DSU? Should we just jump straight into planning?
Why don't we just jump straight into planning?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Okie dokie. So, since we're on stream, I guess Carl, you're going to share your screen out, and then we'll go through it from there.
Yep.
Why don't we jump in and do a quick run through on the board? It's pretty empty at this point, but let's do a run through on the sprint board, and then we'll jump over to planning.
Cool. So, in Validate, we have the faction and world narrative foundations, which the document, I think, is more or less in a done state. So Brandon just is going to go through it later today, and that should clear through. And then...
I fixed a bug this morning that was trivial, that the options menu collapsed. It was, the anchors were wrong. They're wrong on the options menu, so as resolutions changed, it would do weird things. So now, I fixed those. So you can resize the window to whatever the hell you want, and the options menu stays the size it needs to stay, and scales properly. So
Okay, next playtest, we'll check it.
Yeah.
Yep. Doing is just the game balance through playtesting, which feels like a forever war. And then we have in the backlog game clarity, tooltips, and UX, which looks like it still has 3 unchecked checkboxes. So I assume that's just going to carry over. And then we have Steam deploy pipeline, which is not estimated or anything.
Yep, and that'll be something we definitely roll into this.
Cool. And we captured a bunch of bugs from the public Discord. I added a new tag just so that we can keep track of those and make sure we're updating the stuff that says we got it out of there, and put the rocket ship when we are going to ship the fixes for them.
Okay.
Rocket ship?
The emote.
You were probably out when we went through that. There's some usage guidelines in the bug posting forum where we kind of show what has been reproed, what has been captured, and then what has been fixed and checked in, so that people know that their bugs are being acted upon.
I'll get a one-on-one with you, Hans, later, and you can talk me through it. Is that cool?
Yeah, it's just it's pinned to the channel, so it's pretty
The
straightforward.
bug reporting channel?
Yeah,
it's
the
pretty
bug
straightforward.
report. It's the pin.
Got it. Okay, I'll look at that then.
Yep, but we can still chat about it if you want.
Cool. So over on the sprint planning board, we have scheduled for release 7 currently. We have daily, weekly KPI dashboard report. We have design time and potential experiment of a game without pause. We have the week 39 video. We have the narrative teaser. As a GBG, I would like to run ads to get folks pushed to Steam, both to wishlist and to buy. As a GBG, I would like to cold call some streamers / YouTubers to get them to check out and hopefully like our game. As a player, I would like events or major game state changes to be announced. We have the Eternal Dubers card. As a player, I would like to...
Eternal Dubers.
As a player, I would like to have some kind of clear notifications of major morale changes, content evaluation through playtesting. I would like to see some form of log / presentation of what happened in the system after I've jumped. As a player, I want the celestial bodies I encounter in systems to feel diverse and have depth so that every system feels unique and worth exploring. This is the systemic JSON portion of the stuff that we've been doing. As a player, I would like Quest to have a narrative element. As a player, I want to be able to repair damaged installations.
We have a bug about this.
Yes. As an employee, I want to see metrics that allow diagnosing the way systems are performing so that I can triage problems and balance the game. Add faction loyalty as a resource, alterable by events. As a nightly build patron, I'd like a static Steam build accessible there too. UE launch splash image. As a designer, I don't want to combine same type resource caches on celestial bodies. Adjust scanning, reveal amounts accordingly. Dry
Wait,
run.
I thought we did that.
No, this is actually so when it's rolling like multiple metals and stuff, don't combine them into one metal cache.
Ah, okay.
And so then we can have scanners that scan a lot more, and yeah.
Very cool.
Dry run of Steam build and publish process. As a player, I would like to have the long-range scanning ability in window to be more closely tied together so that I am prompted to engage with the new choices. As a player, I want a toggleable option to auto-pause the game when anything finishes. Faction, system design, faction tea time. Check in with the faction to better understand how they feel about you and what they're doing in the fleet, which is part of adding micro to the game. And then faction system design, build out approval resource and quest generation system. So that's currently what we have in Release 7. A bunch of it is not estimated. And then we have a ton in the backlog. And then stuff across. Do people want to go through and talk about if anything needs to be pulled in or out of that stuff?
I think there was some stuff in there that might roughly be done.
Yeah, so
In
let's,
the
let's run
backlog?
the. Yeah,
No, in 7 there was one. Let me scroll through 7. There was one in
Add
here that I was
faction
like,
loyalty as a
as a
resource.
player. Yeah, it's the faction loyalty. Add faction loyalty as a resource alterable by events. That's done.
Yeah, I figured that was. It looked like it was.
Yeah, like events can affect factions at the moment.
So then just archive it out.
Yep.
Oh man.
Was that excitement, Will? Just, oh man, you're so excited to dig into the sprint and do all this work?
That was a quick tightening of my chest. I haven't really thought about the emotions associated with it.
All right, so shall we run through the backlog and see what we feel needs to pull in?
Yeah.
And go through the suggestions and see if there's anything we want to promote.
Yep.
So, as a developer, I would like a debug menu with cheats and modifiers so that I can easily set the state of the game appropriate to how I want to test it.
I don't think that has priority of what we have right now. It's just building out the cheat menu with even more things. And while it's one of those things that I'm like, it's easy, like it will save time in the end. I can also do almost everything using JSON right now. And
it feels like it's emergent. Like, hey, we're going to need to test this really hard. Let's just, as part of that,
make the tool.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Ship picker ships be the button instead of 1, 2, and 3. I feel like this is an easy change and something that would make the ship picker feel more
easier to use. It's better. It's easier UX.
Just more intuitive.
Why don't
Are
we
you
drag
guys
it in?
okay moving it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just think that's simple. As an engineer, I would like better feedback when a build fails on Jenkins. I think that can ride. As a player, I want adapting music as I'm playing the game.
I guess, but I also think this other stuff's more important.
I think other stuff is more important, but man, I'd really like it.
Yeah. So let's go through and do our sizing first. Yeah, Will.
Never mind.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to imagine what we would be doing that's adaptive. Is it like excitement when you're about to get exiled?
I mean, a lot of it, like, we can figure out exactly how we do what we want to do, but from my perspective, a big part of it is we actually have the music that we have broken up into tracks, and we only have one track in right now. So we have other instruments that line up that or tracks that could be brought in or out, and we can either like it just right now it's just only piano, and the actual track has way more than that for a big portion of it, and so I would just like to be using our full music at some point.
And it could be, I could see it easily be tied to the current morale. I could see cues being tied to specific major changes. So if you have a major event occur in game that dramatically increases your morale, having a surge, or decreases your morale, having a drop. I think there's a lot of things we could do that would be at least help make our game more communicative. Is that what you were asking, Will?
Yeah, I was wondering if there would be anything besides morale that we could tie it to. But yeah, it seems like morale is the
besides
thing.
morale. Yeah. I mean, I think if we had a big audio budget, or we were at that point, I could see tying stuff to certain kinds of events or major things. But yeah, I don't know. Okay. Finalize solar system generation and how it maps to placement. That's kind of a dupe of I want the celestial bodies I encounter in systems to feel diverse and have depth, so that every system feels unique and worth exploring.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I think the first or the card that's in our backlog was originally just like build out solar system diversity, but I think in New World Order it takes a different meaning, which makes it a dupe. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Removing. As a player, I would like my cursor to be cool and 3D and come out of the screen and poke me in the eye.
I mean, yeah, if we want to make a cursor, it's pretty easy to swap out what the cursor graphic is. So, someone make a cool cursor that's in style.
Do we feel that this is worth time?
I don't think it matters.
Time? I don't think it matters myself.
No.
I hate custom cursors.
Yeah,
Me too.
Yeah.
I hate them.
Yep.
Okay, let's leave it in the backlog. Maybe at some point we'll have a cool idea.
Delete it.
I agree.
Delete it?
Murder it.
No.
Burn it.
Does anyone disagree with burning it?
I think that it's worth having.
The two product owners both have apprehensive looks on their faces, so we'll leave it in the backlog and make them feel good.
As anti as any. I'm like, I don't, because I also, there's plenty of games where the custom cursors I do particularly like if they're in theme.
If they're an indicator,
Actually,
like if they have an indicator for different things, like I can see them for that. But
Yeah, that's useful if they actually. Yeah, but never mind. I don't care.
we could have
changed
like
my
a sparkle
opinion.
trail that follows.
You've
it
changed
around
your
on
opinion, George?
Because I remember now Dungeon Keeper's cursor, and it was awesome.
Uh-huh.
It was just a hand, and then when
Uh-huh.
it was important that you had to have accuracy, it would turn into the arrow. But
Yeah.
when it wasn't, then it would stay as the hand and occasionally would move,
Right.
and it was really cool.
But that's also a lot more complex than what we even said we were doing here.
Right.
So
I think we leave it. Let's leave it in the backlog, and when there's a good, clear indication of why we need one, we'll look at adding it. Everybody okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Create graphics for Twitch.
Uh,
There's like 6 more
oh, the
things
panels.
that you wanted to have on the Twitch panels, I think.
Yep.
Which
It's not more important than getting work on the game done.
we can promote it if we need to.
Nope.
As a company, I would like to have test ads for marketing, budgeting, and marketing campaign planning. So this is a little bit of a dupe.
Yeah, it's an old card, but yeah, I mean it's the same as the. I mean it's already estimated and has Brandon on it. We could just move it over so that we could instead of the other ads.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Checklist seems good.
yeah,
at the very
Brandon?
least.
Can you centralize those and figure out what you want to keep
Yeah.
from each card?
I'll just add them all together.
Okay. Celestial object materials have versions for when it's the main planet and versions for when they're the moon. This also could be converted into support LODs or create moon materials. This could go either way. And it's probably a little of both, frankly.
Yeah.
Because I do think we should support LEDs for all the planet textures. But that's a pretty involved process. So
Yeah, I don't know that it makes
Yeah.
it right now. I think
Okay.
it's a thing to do, but I don't know that it's the right time for that.
yeah, I don't know if it is either, particularly with the resources we have.
Yep.
Okay, we'll leave that for now. If somebody feels strongly, speak up, or let's find some small pieces we can do as individual cards to patch up certain areas. Final ULA, that's sitting. As a Draconian Supreme Leader, I would like Ghostly Bear Games website that meets Tyson's new art look and feel.
Not as important as the game.
Yep. As a web dev, I need content for ish website pages. I'm actually going to move this one over. There's a couple things that I think is going to be important for the launch that are
Yeah.
left, which is basically the press page. So
Yeah.
I'm going to move that one in.
Yeah, I mean, doing a pass on that and getting used to linking to it would be good, just because we're going.
Yep.
We're going to the lives.
Yep. As an employee, I want company PR assets so I can keep our branding consistent everywhere. Is there any new ones you feel you need?
No.
There are going to be some for that website card, but I'll do them separately. Okay. As a developer, I would like a debug menu. Oh, nope.
I moved those down to the bottom, so
There's
there's
an
they're
engineer,
just
better
dupes.
feedback,
Yep.
blah, blah, blah. Cool. All right. Player suggestions.
I just
Go ahead.
added one at the bottom.
Optimize our game so our frame rate is not terrible in the game.
Is
Oh
it
yeah,
bad
it's
already?
fucking terrible.
Oh.
Holy shit!
I
Our
haven't
render
noticed
thread
that.
is insane.
So
I haven't
where do you
noticed.
think it's coming from?
It's sub 30 frames per second, even on like. It's totally in render. I haven't been able to dig in. I want to do that. That's why I put a card, because I need time to actually like do it on my main machine and see like what the it's specifically in-game rendering. It's something I think to do with materials, because when I turn effects down, it improves. And so there's something in the materials that we have there that is really tanking frame rates, especially on slightly lower end cards.
It could be material layers, and if it's material layers, it's going to suck. But it's very possible.
Could be. I saw this earlier though too.
Okay. All right.
But
So
I
I think
definitely
we
saw
should
it
put this
over
in.
the weekend more.
I think it is before we go to Steam. I think it's worth looking at that.
Yep.
Does anyone disagree?
Nope.
Okay. Let's prioritize that one in. All right. Player suggestions. As a player, I would like some activity interaction that is involved in finding home. I think maybe not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, no.
As a player, I would like to be able to move the windows by clicking and dragging, planet, ship, faction, etc.
We can do that. I don't
Actually,
think that's going to be super hard.
If it's not super hard, I think it's useful, because the windows do get on top of sometimes things that you do care about. So that'd be
At least the ship one.
We'll
the ship
put it
one.
in. As a player, when I select an ability that requires an action like scan or exploit, I'd like the button to indicate make a selection state. Isn't this one already kind of done?
No, the button doesn't, but there is a text across the top of the screen telling you what to select.
Yeah.
So this could just be a thing of, do we want to make it clearer that you're in a selection state?
Seems like maybe if we're getting to the pre-Steam that makes sense, because that's a pretty clear usability issue.
Yeah. I mean, that could fall into that UI UX clarity piece.
Let's do it.
Okay. As a player, I would like to be able to queue orders. I think that waits.
Yep.
I think it waits, yeah. I was going to say, I actually don't want that for a game.
Yeah, it's a design time discussion, definitely, but not one we need yet.
Captain abilities that can do it.
As a player, I would like a selectable icon of each of my ships in the corner instead of
Yes.
an icon.
Oh, gosh, please, yes. I want this so bad.
I agree, because the way playing the game right now is super obnoxious.
Yep.
So this goes in?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Clean up scan results text in long range scan to make useless information less overt.
Thanks, Will. You're the best. Just stick it in.
Hey now. We should generate planet
Hey!
names. Our system name. We should generate
You're
planet
not
names into our
Carl.
system names. I kind of feel like we should do this one.
Which one? I'm sorry. I got distracted. Let me look at that.
we should generate planet names.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
absolutely. 100%. 100%.
I think that needs to be in
Like
before.
the
we-
UI is already ready for it, so
Yeah.
we should
We just
do
need
it.
to create that planet name JSON file and make the functions on the name
Yeah.
helper library to just be like, give me name. Oh, and then update the saving so it saves out planet names. But that's
We should what we should do is collect names of deities from different religions and separate them by religion, and then each star system choose a religion and name all of the planets after deities.
I think that's a terrible idea. Not gonna lie. I think that's
I mean,
getting
that's
into
what
some
we did in
serious-
our star system. That's why I suggested it. It seems reasonable to me. Pluto
Wait,
is
what?
a god. Mars.
Oh
is a
yeah.
god.
Oh yes. I know, but I just think that's I think
A
we
can
should
of
go there,
worms?
though. Yeah, I think it's a can of worms.
I think we're gonna end up naming them boring space things then, which sounds awful. But I guess we don't need personality. That's boring, right?
Whoa, that was passive aggressive.
We're so spicy
I was
today.
aggressive.
I'm
You
loving
were
it.
passive aggressive.
I'm loving
So we're
this
just
spice already.
So we're just gonna take names actually from every Final Fantasy game.
There we go.
Just pull in words from
That'll
there.
go well.
Sephiroth 7.
Yep.
All right, moving on. We'll figure it out. Okay, let's go through and start running our way through. Hey, Carl. Carl and Ant, I guess. Can you guys go through the release 7 and let's prioritize top to bottom?
Sure.
What is your shirt, Hans? I love it.
It is Captain Crunch, one of the original phone freaks. He's the one who figured out you could use the whistle from Captain Crunch to freak out payphones and basically get free money. Well, free phone calls.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he was a good phone system researcher. So that's why it says freak at the bottom.
Slightly before my time. But I did definitely
Same.
have my high school phase of being like super into learning about phone freaking and everything. It just was pretty much at the point where it didn't matter anymore. But it was pretty cool to learn about.
Well, culturally, there was a lot of pretty amazing stuff that happened around that all through the
Yeah.
country. So,
All right, so yep. Oh god, things are moving.
Oh yeah, I wanted to let Ant do this because I wanted to see how he ended up, and then I could correct him.
What? Oh god.
You're on the spot. Go be a producer,
There you go.
Anthony.
There you
Go,
go.
go.
Well, some of these are
Produce.
Okay.
Produce.
I do think that should go first.
Don't look at me like that, Brandon.
Not looking at nothing.
This needs to be done. What else do we pull in down there? There's too many. It's too hard to sort. I don't know.
it gives up. Buffer overload.
I don't care.
So, Brandon, while he's doing this, I got my Cypher Lords assembled finally this weekend.
Those models are so good.
I'm pretty excited about it. I did little cobblestone bases for them. I printed out a cobblestone roller and used green stuff, and it worked pretty well. So,
What's your paint scheme gonna be?
I'm not sure. I'm going back and forth on it. I'm trying to decide because I like it's one of the factions I do actually like the box paint,
Mhm.
but
The blues.
I'm having a hard time bringing the I'm just gonna follow that paint scheme. I
Actually,
want
I
to come
think
up with
this
something
should
new,
go.
Mhm, mhm.
but I don't know what it'll be if I do that. I kind of like if I were to take it and tweak it a little bit and go more Zinch and then try and use some Zinch allies would be kind of fun.
Yay, Zinch, my favorite of the Chaos Gods. Actually, no, it's Nurgle. I changed my mind.
Yeah, Nurgle's best.
Freaking Plague Bear. God.
Very you,
Oh.
George.
Nurgle's
Nurgle's
super
definitely
cute.
best.
Yeah, I feel like Nurgle's like kind of joviality is like, oh yeah, that's George.
I could
Yeah,
see
I
Nurgle
want-
hanging out with George all day.
I want to be Zinch, but I'm Nurgle. You know, that's what it is. Like, I want to be like the
Best.
smart arcane chaos thing, but instead I'm just a fat cold sore or something. You know, whatever that thing is. I don't know what Nurgle is. You know, the fat
I know what
booger.
you're saying.
Whatever he is.
Yep.
No. The cold sore worked.
I love it. We got distracted. What were we doing?
I don't know what you guys
Anthony-
are doing. You're making me do something I don't like doing.
Oh, we're waiting for Anthony. Great.
I know. That's why I hate doing this.
Anthony's prioritizing.
I think I actually do like Corn the most, at least from like my past gameplay experiences.
Blood for the blood god.
Yeah, I just really there's an era of 40k. I think it was like 5th or 6th edition where I was playing a Corn purist
Oh,
Chaos Demons
God.
army, and I would just deep strike like
Yep.
15 blood crushers onto the battlefield, and everyone was like, "What the f is happening right now? Why does this man own like more blood crushers than anyone ever should?"
Yep.
Yeah, I just
Makes
love
sense.
those models.
Makes sense.
The fantasy is so fulfilling. You're just like, okay, I charged you. This is all we do now.
This is all we do.
All we do.
If you ask Corn
Jesus,
out on
this
a
is long.
date, but he didn't show up, you would call him Cornflakes.
I don't think I would.
Where'd it go?
Well, there you go. And that's that.
Yes, this is very
It's
long.
Monday.
Alrighty.
Monday.
Actually,
And Tuesday too.
I think I
Um,
actually like Slanesh a lot too, mostly from the
Yeah,
Fulgrim
Slanesh is
novel,
great.
from the Horus Heresy. Like Slanesh in the Horus Heresy,
Yeah.
great. Slanesh post Horus Heresy goes downhill very quickly. But yeah.
I explored a castle this morning. It was pretty cool. It was actually a castle fortress. It was.
Ooh.
They said it was 20 hectares of castle fortress. This thing was enormous, by the way. It took me like a half hour just to walk the perimeter.
That's
It was
awesome.
pretty crazy. Yeah, it was pretty neat. I'm trying to find a decent picture from it. Why aren't all my pictures up there? That's dumb.
Is it good enough, Anthony?
yeah, roughly. I mean,
Once you get
It's-
once you get to the bottom, it's all hand wavy anyway.
it is all hand waving because a lot of the stuff I feel can be happening consecutively. So there's a big chunk of the top where I'm like, wow, all these can be happening at the same time, but we should
Yeah.
start many of
Yeah,
them
and
at the
it's-
same time.
Yeah, and we're prioritizing by importance, not necessarily execution order. So
Okay.
okay. Carl, are you in agreement?
Good
Okay.
enough.
All right, cool. Daily, weekly KPI dashboard report.
Oh, I didn't even see that one at the top.
What was that?
We should
Look
get
at
it in.
that.
We should get it in.
We should get it in actually, but I would do it tied to there's as an employee I want to see metrics that allow diagnosing of systems and things.
Yeah, we can put them together.
That's where I was like, oh,
I'll move it down to where it is.
yeah, it's your
What?
first Hans one.
Got it.
Those two kind of are together.
Yep.
Give me
All right,
something
so-
worthwhile to see on that screen.
As a company, I'd like to have test ads for marketing, budgeting, and campaign planning. That was a 3. We have keywords, budget, identify avenues, design test ads with KPIs, release ads, and collate data. Is this actually a 3, or do we want to resize?
It's probably a 3 because at the end of the day, it's actually not going to be that complex for what we're doing. We're
Mhm.
just going to use like Google Ads.
Mhm.
So
But do we
I
need to
think it's
create
still
ad
okay.
assets? And
Yes.
Yeah, actually we do. Okay. Well,
and item-
yeah, we do. We may not actually. I think a lot of the stuff that we made for Steam is surprisingly useful for this. We may need a little, may need a few edits, but by and large, it should be light asset creation. But then that adds another person. Okay, yeah. We should add that, and it'll increase the scope.
Okay. Let's size it then. 3, 2, 1. I need to bring up Discord. I'm still looking into it.
You can't draw numbers, George. We don't know what you're drawing.
I have a question mark. I'm
Okay.
just not actually sure.
Hang on.
Carl's like
Carl's
3.
like,
Goddamn,
three.
it's still 3.
So we got a 3, and then we had several 5s.
Yep.
Okay. Why do you think it's still a 3, Carl?
I just don't think it's that complicated to do, and most of the time on this is actually just waiting for the ad to run and then seeing how it does. But I mean, if we think that creating the assets and stuff is really that complicated, I just don't think that this is that complicated.
Do we have an idea of how many there are?
How many assets? I
How many?
don't know if Google Ads has that many assets.
I
you
think
need.
we'd only probably need 2, and even then, we'd probably just add some text to one of that like splash that we use on Steam.
So, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, are we actually testing something? Like, here are 3 ads across Google, one that is emphasizing this, one that is emphasizing this, one that's emphasizing this, and then we're looking at performance? Or are we literally like, hey, let's put one ad up on each of these things and see how they perform? Are we doing any A/B testing across any of those?
I think we're
A/B testing.
I think we're mostly
No
just
A/B testing.
putting up ads, and then
Yeah.
when they do stuff, we shrug and we say we don't know why.
Got it. 3. Moving on. As a GBG, I would like to cold call some streamers, YouTubers, and get them to check out and hopefully like our game.
I only put this up higher just because it's a time thing. We should start. If we planned on wanting this to be at the end of the sprint happening, we need to start this now.
Is there anything specifically we want to call out in terms of a description or a checklist of things that are involved here? Or is that descriptive enough?
We have a document.
Yeah, we should link the document.
Okay.
Brandon researched a crap load of people.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me link the
So,
document to that.
how many contacts are we talking here? 20?
It's like 30, I think.
Yeah, I think it's about 30 people right now.
Okay.
I
And
put
we're
my name
gonna-
on some of them, not many, but if you guys know anyone or want to specifically contact people, you should put your names on there too so we don't duplicate.
And are we contacting all 30?
Let's see why not.
Let's
Okay.
see.
I mean,
probably.
it can't
I'm just
hurt
trying
as
to
long
fill
as
the card.
it can't hurt as long as we're honest about where the game is in the process, because asking them for feedback is a great in to start. You know, like I have a couple of people on that list who I don't think I would want them to, like, I'm gonna say to them, hey, our game is in a very super early access state and we would love feedback, and you're a person who plays a lot of these games, could you do that? But I'm not gonna be like, play this on stream or something right now, at least.
Okay. So we have 30 contacts ish. Do we have a sense of what the engagement's going to look like for each of these? Like, are we reaching out via email? Are we reaching out? Like, what's our approach here?
I'm reaching out by email, but I imagine that some of these people we won't have email access, and we'll probably have to reach out to them by messaging them through YouTube or Twitch,
Right.
or maybe like, yeah, if people
but
watch their
there's no
streams
contact
regularly.
information in these, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, some of them might on their Twitch page have.
Most of them have a contact thing on their Twitch page or their
Mhm.
streaming site, so we can just knock there first.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd agree.
So basically, an initial contact, update the sheet with who made the initial contact and when, and then follow-ups on the ones that get back to us.
Yep.
Okay. All right, we ready to size?
sure.
It is, let me look, we have 2 to 51, so we have 49 listed.
Oh my gosh, is there 49 of them? Holy crap.
Okay.
We'll prioritize the ones with the X's, but yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
I think there are 50 listed.
Okay.
But anyways.
So we got 8. We got 8. We got, what's yours, Brandon? 5. We got
5.
13
Colin.
and
2 13s.
Wow, 2 13s, 2 8s, and 2 5s. Dang. We
I mean,
we
I
all
guess we
over
could
the
do.
place.
I
It
guess we could
averages
do
to
8, but I don't think it's.
I don't know. I don't know how much actual work it is to start sending these out.
I guess I'm expecting to get shot down by a majority of these.
Honestly, you're going to be
You
ghosted by most
probably
of them.
won't be.
Uh,
A lot of these people are very receptive to this kind of stuff. You're gonna have, and if you, but the thing is, if you don't do kind of individualized messages for them, then they're gonna just dump you like you're nothing. Because I mean, you need to put the effort in too. Like we need to put the effort in to make sure that when we contact these people, we actually know who we're contacting
mhm.
and why, and make them feel like they're getting an individual. No, not make them actually write an individualized message for them.
Mhm.
That's why I think it's a 13 because you
Well,
like
and the
you-
ones that get back to us, that's going to be a back and forth to figure out what does this engagement look like, what are the pieces there, and and those
responding to
people-
their feedback
All right.
to make sure that
You've pushed me
when
higher.
when they give you feedback, you can't just be like, okay, cool, thanks. You need to like say, oh, here's where we added this to the list, or I disagree with you because of this in this respect, or whatever, or we would love to get to this, but we won't be able to before this date, or whatever. Like you have to. This is a relationship. It's not just a
being able
fire
to
and forget.
being able to
fruitery.
update those things, being able for us to then, as we get those relationships built, bring it back into the stream, bringing it into the Discord, notifying that it's from this streamer, try and generate some traffic for them too. So
Yeah.
Okay. I suppose
what
I've been
Honestly, I saw with Space Star, and I saw the days that Isaac spent at this. Like days.
Yeah.
Constantly.
There's a lot, and some of the people on the list where like I don't know some of the people on the list, so those are people who I'm gonna have to go and look at their YouTube channels and see what they've watched and get a judge of like what do they stream, like what kind of are they super serious, are they toilet humor, are they whatever, like what kind of streamers are they, or what kind of content creators are they, just to kind of at least have a bit of personalized attention for each of them.
are we comfortable at an 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh girl.
But you're not comfortable at an 8?
I mean, we can put in the thing is it can be time boxed to anything. It's just how many are we going to get through?
Sure,
and
and
I
I
don't think we know.
I don't think we know. I think we're going to have to see how it goes. I also don't know, like, this is important and we need to be starting this work and going through it and doing a good job, but we also need to make a Steam build that launches and gets onto Steam, right? So, like, we could spend an infinite amount of time doing this if we wanted to. We just need to cap it at some point.
Right.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, we'll probably have to go through and prioritize the list then. Can we? Can I schedule something with you, Brandon, to do that?
Sure.
Because I think you're the one that's put the most work into it, and I would love to be involved in that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
God, if I can find it, there is also a site out there that does a thing where you can like beyond what we find, you put up a bill, you put yourself out there, and then streamers can find your game, like saying, "Hey, these developers are looking for streamers on this thing and of this type of game." And it actually worked reasonably well, although it does produce a lot of work to make sure that the streamers that are asking for keys or to play the game are legit. That was where a lot of time is spent.
Yeah.
Because man, you'll get a lot of Russian email addresses that you're like, huh, that seems sketchy.
Or people trying to get G2A.
They're trying to get keys.
Yeah.
Mostly.
which may just be like running streamer builds or something out of itch may be better or something.
Yeah.
All right. Next is narrative teaser, which is sized at an 8, but there is no description.
So this is getting people to record voice lines. This is working with Tyson to do more art, and then figuring out how we hack it all together in After Effects to some reasonable standard.
Yeah.
I think largely this is using people who are not on the team, beg, borrowing, and stealing time, and then getting people to record voices. So.
And you are already the champion of it. You're comfortable with the 8?
Yep.
Okay. Design time, potential experiment, game without pause or not?
So is this
So-
a design time discussion, or is
Yes.
this
Actually, I can like the reason why I'm prioritizing this is discussing and experiment. Like so.
So this is both the
I've been,
actual running.
I've been
the actual...
wrestling with this. We're going to
Yeah.
Steam.
Yep.
We need to present the fantasy of what our game is to the. We cannot change that underneath people after. And Will had a great idea and presented it. We should talk about inverting the time, where you can run the game at like 4 or 5 times speed, which would do exactly what it feels like now. And normal, paused or unpaused, is just a slow, calm
So
thing,
like
which gives us a lot of room
Yeah.
to also put.
SimCity without pause?
Yeah, or
Like
we could
without the
honestly
pause.
even still have pause if we want to. There's nothing stopping it. That's what we can discuss. Do we want 3 states doing a pause like a normal SimCity, Stardew Valley kind of like that's normal pace? Carl brought up in a conversation about how Oxygen Not Included has it's like normal pace, and RimWorld as well. Like the normal paces are much more manageable, but they offer like 4 times speed, which a lot of people play at the 4 times speed once you get comfortable with the game.
Yep.
And they want to. And so it's just, let's talk through what would have to be, what we want the actual approach to be, solidify it so we can actually implement before we launch to Steam.
Okay.
Because this is not something we want to change post-launch.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the design time conversation itself and an experiment that may come out of that, implementing and playing with that experiment.
Yeah.
Okay. We ready
Okay.
to size then?
Yep.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. 5s across the board.
Ooh.
Okay.
I think so much of our stuff is in JSON. I think the actual experiment is not going to be terrible.
No. Okay. As an engineer, I want to optimize our game so frame rate is not terrible in game. This is such a big question mark.
I don't think we can estimate this. I think this is one of those time box things where we pick a number that we want to time box it to.
I think as an engineer, I
think it's going to be very
understand
specific,
what
though.
to optimize in our game.
I do think that it is going to be a pretty specific, once I can, or any of us can go through the profiler and like dig in, it's going to become very quickly obvious what the problem is.
You could have a more specific goal that's like, I want our game to run at 60 frames per second on this computer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. I would love it if my laptop could run the game at 60 frames per second, not 26.
Sure.
And that's in the build, right? Not when you're playing in the editor.
Yeah, that's from
We
the
should
build.
make
That's
that
from the build.
distinction.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do we want to change this then? Instead of as an engineer, I want to know what to optimize our game to, as an engineer, I want our game to run at
60 FPS on a GTX 1050.
Sounds good.
There's no reason. There's no reason our game shouldn't run at 60 FPS on that.
Thanks for the sub, Kenny Chuck.
nice.
Yay.
I want our game to run at 60 frames per second on a GTX what?
1050.
1050M.
Yeah, I guess it's an M.
Okay. All right, let's size against that. 3, 2, 1.
I'll just say 5 or 8. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
I
no understanding.
I
That's-
think I think with a 5, we will understand. We'll at least understand the things we need to do.
I'm fine with 5. I was
We may
waffling.
not actually understand. We may not actually be able to implement them in that time, but hopefully we can.
I feel like this is a pretty straightforward process.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So 5.
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. As a player, I would like a selectable icon of each of my ships in the corner instead of an idle ship's icon.
So, something to note about this, what we could do, and the way that I got that first picture of a ship in the corner is I just, I did a snip of our ships from a side view. We could do that with each of the ships and then create icons for each type of ship. But the problem with that is if you draft 2 science ships, then you end up with 2 science images.
I was thinking about that too, and I think that the answer lay in colors and patterns that are randomly assigned to ships at the beginning, but based on some intelligent process, and then the player can override them. Something that's really simple.
That doesn't sound simple.
No.
I just having like a color for the icon is pretty simple, and a pattern fill or something.
Are you talking about on the ship or just on their window?
No, not on
Oh,
the
sure.
actual 3D ship, just for UI only.
Oh,
So, like
Okay.
in Ship Picker, as an example, you could because people will start to come up with their own processes. Like if we said, medical ships start as green with a green plus sign or a red plus sign or something, like Red Cross or whatever. I don't know. Just something that makes sense in general, and then players can override it by picking it. And then in game, it'll show that kind of thing in the UI whenever that ship is referenced. So you can.
So
get
we
it.
don't need to solve this here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
We're diving in. We're diving into like how we're going to fix this thing. Do we honestly feel that this description, do we want to be as descriptive as this? We'd like a selectable icon of each of my ships in the corner instead of the idle ships icon.
I guess
or
it
are we
doesn't
a
need to
step
be
higher?
that. I think we're
Are
a step
we-
higher, and with the fact we don't, the way that you select ships through the idle thing is bad.
So
And
as
we
a
need
player,
to solve that.
yeah, as a player, I would like a intuitive way to select each of my ships instead of
Wow.
the idle ships icon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, we don't have to specifically solve it this way. And this is one where I'd potentially like Tyson maybe to bring his UI UX mind and focus on it.
Yeah, I agree. Select my ships instead of the ships icon. Yeah, because I still think there's also the weird conversation around like the fleet view and how we
Yeah.
interact with that, and so I think there is a bigger UX question here about like what we're trying to do. So, okay, as a player, I would like an intuitive way to select my ships instead of the idle ships icon.
Ha.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did
Okay.
you add him, Carl,
I-
or did?
I added him.
Okay.
Oh, I was gonna say.
All right. 3, 2, 1. We got 5s and 8. We got a shrug. A shrug is a natural 21, just so you
Okay.
I'm fine with a 5.
Okay.
Do a 5.
As an employee, I want to see metrics that allow diagnosing the way the systems are performing. We had that sized at a 3. I think that can still be done at a 3 as long as we take the time to discuss what it is we want.
Yeah.
So is that something we want to bring up as a element of design time this week? Talk about what it is we want to track so we can get the
Yes,
client
please.
side changes, and then I can do the dashboard stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Just find out what data we want to send.
Okay, I'm going to leave that as a 3 then. Daily, weekly KPI dashboard for reports. So this is going to be something that's going to be a little bit of either glue or just a procedural thing where we look at the combination of Steam and Itch and Discord and gameplay and come up with the metrics that we would like to follow on
Yeah,
a
I think-
basis.
I think we should add business KPI to the card just to make it clear that it's about the
Yeah.
the business success, not gameplay.
Correct. All right. So I think this probably is. Let's do checklist. This probably is quick kickoff. Quick kickoff meeting just to discuss what we think we need to track, and then process development. Report.
BRB 1 second. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. So process development, report creation. So basically those three things: quick kickoff meeting, process development, report creation, and they may even just be the process development is a manual, assemble this data from this place to this place, and present that at the daily stand-up. Like it could be very, very, very simple up front.
Will,
We
you're
just-
breathing really heavily. Sorry. Like,
So any other phases anybody thinks we need? Do we need anything more fancy? All right. 3, 2, 1. 3, 3, 3, 5.
okay, 3's fine.
Faction system
Put
design.
Carl's face on it.
Faction system design, faction tea time. Check in with the faction to better understand how they feel about you and what they're doing in the fleet. Micro.
And this is just design.
Design time. Like this
Just-
is work through design.
Okay. I'm ready to estimate. Anyone
Yeah.
have questions?
I don't. Anyone else?
No.
3, 2, 1.
5, 5, 3, 3, 2.
Who had 5s?
I did.
I thought design times were usually 5s.
Really?
Last design time was a 5.
Maybe we had a lot more work with it. I feel like
No,
this is a design time
the
where
last one, if it were talking about the time thing change, that's because it also includes an experiment with it. Whatever we come out of that. If we come out with we want to change it, we actually want to put the experiment in. This has no actual implementation after this design time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
change it
chose
to
5 because
design
it sounds
time
hard.
and experiment.
But
What
I'm
did you
not
say,
the
Will?
same.
I'm changing the previous one to design time and experiment.
Isn't that
okay.
already there?
There.
It was already
No,
there.
it said design time and potential experiment.
Oh, I see.
Very wordy on the specific on the semantics there.
Well, I mean,
which is good.
I thought we were estimating the design time, not the design time and potential experiment, because that was potential.
I see. Okay. So are we comfortable at a 3 then?
For the
Yeah,
this conversation?
three's-
Yeah.
No, not going back and relitigating the other one. 3.
relitigating.
Negating. It's true.
Faction systems design. Build out approval resource and quest generation system.
What was this
I'm
one
ready.
specifically?
Would love to discuss favors,
Favors.
guys.
Oh wait, the approval this is like when the
Yeah.
approval rating is high, giving you special like passive access to different things. We
Yep.
have some design on this. We just haven't even tried to implement any
So
of
this
it.
is also just a design time portion as a precursor to the
To the next.
dignitarian
right.
faction.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just design time? This isn't the implementation?
No, this is just the design.
Oh,
Yeah,
Finalizing
faction
the design of what we want to implement.
that changes my estimate considerably.
Okay. We ready? 3, 2, 1. We got 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 5. Cool.
3.
3. All right.
The eternal dubers, I think, are still 2.
Okay.
Forevermore.
Forevermore. But
We should generate planet names and star system names.
I was out during the time when you did the ship name JSONs and stuff and collecting those. How long did that actually take to put the JSON file together and put all the names there? Do you
Will,
remember?
I copy pasted it from a thing Carl made. I don't know.
Okay.
But Carl didn't do the JSON, did he?
I just did a giant text file.
The ship names I copy pasted from a text file, and then I used macros from VI to program it to automatically make the list.
Yeah,
So
that's
it took, I don't know.
scripting it.
It took me 5 minutes.
So how long does it take?
People names took a lot longer because I searched most common names in each language, and that, I don't know, it took me maybe 3 or 4 hours.
So we probably
That's
have a
about
few
right.
steps here. We have probably a system definition of like how we're going to generate the names, and then we have the process of implementing them as JSON. Yeah.
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 I mean, the actual generating the list of names is the part that is long, and it's just a bunch of, it's like determine a few different ways that you're going to seed it, search up those terms, copy paste them into a text file, and then my process was throw them at a programmer who then does probably like 3 seconds of work and makes it accessible in game. So that's the approximate process.
Well, I made the JSON. I didn't make them accessible in game. I don't know who did that.
I think that was probably George.
Wait, the names are customizable in game?
No, not
No,
customizable.
it's accessible. You were just pulling JSON.
Yeah, you just read the JSON, floated into the ship.
Oh, yes. Okay, sorry. I was gonna say I don't remember doing that at all, but yeah, I probably did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
3, 2, 1.
Oh, shit.
3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 5. Okay.
Every
Clean up
time
scan
we-
results. What?
Never mind. Just keep going.
Okay. Clean up scan results text in long range scan to make useless information less overt. I
I'm
think
ready to estimate.
3, 2, 1.
the one.
2s, 1s.
It's
yeah,
definitely a 1.
I agree.
Just swapping around the
Yeah, it's
location
just-
of stuff, right?
Yeah, it's
My
just
brain
moving
is not
things
keeping
around.
up.
I'll just put my name on it right now.
As a player, I would like to be able to move the windows by clicking and dragging.
Don't know.
3, 2, 1.
Oh.
3, a 3, question
I
mark,
don't know.
a 3, 13.
I don't know. I fall to George on this because you did
Yeah,
all the
me too. I have no
dragging,
idea.
the dragging stuff
It's-
for the ship picker, like the powering. So I feel like you know
Yeah.
what it takes to make things draggable.
Yeah, it's not hard. It just
It's just tedious.
there's gonna be so many edge cases. I just feel like it's gonna be something that where I do it and then it's gonna have a bug that comes up, and then another bug that comes up, and then another bug that
So,
comes up. Just tons of edge.
One question I have on this card, actually, before I call it a 3. Are we planning on saving the location of that window so when they close it and reopen it, it goes back to that same location?
Yes, within the session. No between sessions.
Cool. Okay. Then I'll stay at a 3. All right. As a player, when I select an ability that requires an action like scan or exploit, I would like the button to indicate make a selection state
Let
and
me
possibly
change
a
that.
cursor indicator that is ready to select something. You
As a
update
player,
our way.
when I select an ability that requires an action, I would like the game to be clear that I need to select something. There. More clear.
Okay.
That's really what it is. It's not the button or anything specific there. It's
Yeah.
Hey, did it change?
More clear what I need to select?
I would like the game to be more clear that I need to need to select what.
Yeah, I think this could go a number of different ways, and we can talk about the implementation of it, but it's just basically like, I mean, it could be anything from, the cursor says something to every possible thing that you could pick has some kind of unique UI around it. So there's lots of different ways to solve it. It's just, I think this involves a UX
Yeah.
discussion as well as the actual implementation in the UI.
what I need to select and that I need to select something. Yep.
Oh.
Okay. Perfect. 3, 2, 1. Again, I switched away from Discord.
3 or 5.
I don't
Between
remember.
a 3 or 5
Is
on
9 one of them?
No.
this. No.
Will has lost it. There's like baby arms sticking out of your head.
8. There you go.
Can we clip that? That was so good.
So you're learning that children don't actually get smarter by themselves. They actually, it's a closed loop, and they take the intelligence of the parents
Yes.
to
I'm
gain
feeling
their
it.
intelligence.
So wait, what did we
Where
estimate?
did we
What-
land?
It was either I think
I had 5. He had 8 or
I
9.
was between a. I would probably go 5 most
Yeah.
likely.
Let's land 5. Week 39 video. Is it 3? Is it still a 3?
We have a pretty big backlog of videos at this point.
So maybe less than a 3?
Probably like a 2 because we don't need to record something. I mean,
2 it is.
Done.
As a player, I would like quests to have a narrative element. We size that at a 3, it looks like.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't. So I have guesses, but I don't completely understand what
That's
that.
what I was going to say. Like, we have it sized, but it doesn't really have any description. So is
Yeah,
this something we need to pull into design time?
I mean, I think so. I think the overall thing we want to do is start making sure that everything, every quest, every event, everything in the game has those ties back to faction, has those ties back to who you are as a character, how these things are coming up, right? It's mostly a fluff thing, not a design. Like, the quests at their bare bones can be exactly what they are now, but how we present them to the player from a fluff text perspective or whatever may need to alternate and alter and change to feel more fluffy.
This is a content content editing pass mostly.
Well, and there may be a UX element to this too,
Maybe.
because we gotta have some way to deliver the information to the user that we don't have right
Yeah, and like we should remember that the quest implementation right now was us reusing elements really fast because it was quick.
Yeah,
sure.
And so like, yeah, I think it could involve some Tyson, could involve some other stuff, but yeah, the overall goal is like, how do we continuously make our game feel more narratively tied to all the things that we want it to be tied to?
So
especially
UX
now that we
storyline
have a
work.
document.
Right.
Yeah.
UX storyline work and sorry, Will.
I wonder if it might make sense for us to have a design time or something about what we want events to actually be, because I feel like there's a lot of consternation about the current state of events, and it would be good for us to all get together and discuss what we think would be cool about them.
Yeah, and potentially events, quests, and like all these systems that task or ask questions of the players. How do they want to differentiate from each other? Is that a
Do
separate
we want
card?
to add a new card for that then?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it sounds like it might be a prerequisite for this. But
So maybe a design.
I think that sounds good.
A design time card that is alignment on events and narrative.
Yeah. Events,
Okay.
events, quests, and narrative.
events. Why quests? I guess maybe I'll just
Because
go to
that was
design time.
specifically what the card actually is asking about, is for quests to have a narrative element to them.
Doesn't it say what? I don't. Oh, it does say quests. Holy shit! I'm sorry. I'm way off. Oh god.
but it is true. We should align on how the narrative is going to blend into all of this stuff, because the quests are very bland right now, very specific and generic.
So
Well, it's
design time-
Monday, by the way.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
it's about 11 a.m. The year is 2019.
It's 9 p.m. What are you
So
talking?
design time, alignment on events, quests, and narrative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Oh, this is.
And
Here.
we give design times what, 3s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
That's probably 3.
All right. Blah blah blah. As a player, I would like events. Oh, sorry,
Events is the wrong word.
events or major game state changes.
Yeah,
I would
events
like,
is the overloaded word.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like it's.
overloaded. Right.
I would like major game state
major
changes.
game state changes. Yeah, let's just eliminate the
Yeah, good call.
major game state changes to be announced.
Yeah.
To be understood. To be, yeah.
Yeah.
Announced. So.
This is like when exploits finish, when scans finish, when you've just anytime you're doing those things to be like tell the player, hey, this thing finished and this is what was found out, or like something they can see instead of having to be like, what just finished? Where is it at? What happened?
And also, like,
we're not surfacing any of this.
The next morale tick, you will lose the game. Like that'd be a good one too.
And this could also be sounds. This could be screen elements. This could be a lot of different things. This is
smells.
Okay. Do we want to? Do we think we at this high level we can size this? Kind of feel like
probably not. We need to break it down to just decide what we want to be doing in this range. And
so. Let's do. How about we do, as a designer, I would like to understand how to communicate major game state changes.
Sure.
Okay. As a designer, I would like to understand how to communicate major game state to the player. And this may end up having cards that we add and spawn off of it, or maybe we wrap it all up in there because we're like, aha, here's an amazing way to do this.
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Got a 5, a 5, a 3, a 3, a 5, and a 5.
Sounds like 5.
Okay. As a player, I want to have some kind of clear notification of major morale changes. That's
I feel like this
up into that.
I think that rolls into that. Yeah.
So let's kill it. Content evaluation through playtesting. So this is effectively is this really actually more of a part of a design time to touch base on where we are with our current content and look at the feedback? Maybe elicit some feedback from the playtesters, or what is this actually in terms of the work?
I think a lot of this was like, do we need more events? Do we need more this? Do we need to change?
Yeah.
Like it's the addition. So the balance passes are changing numbers of what we already have. This is adding more things of all the varying types that we have.
Right. I'm just trying to get to how are we actually going to do this? Is this something we elicit from the playtesters? Is this something we elicit from our own playtesting? What do people think? Because all of those will make a difference.
I think it's both, honestly.
Okay.
Because I'm curious. It's curious what players are actually engaging with and finding engaging, and then we have our own internal ideas.
So, playtester feedback, call to action, internal playtest, and discussion.
I'll be back 2 seconds. I need to turn on the air conditioning. It's getting really hot in here.
Okay. So playtester feedback, call to action, and internal playtest with discussion. And this is just the evaluation, not implementing more content. Mm-hmm. So 3, 2, 1.
3 or 2.
3s, 5s. 3. Empty chair.
I'm fine with 3.
As a player, I want celestial bodies to encounter systems to feel diverse. We had this sized at an 8. Do we need more clarification in this as to what is being called for here?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I just moved it. My bad.
It's okay.
Where'd it go?
I accidentally moved it while I was trying to scroll up the.
Oh, there it is. Oh, shit, it's gone again. There it is.
All right, so let's talk about what does this mean. I want the celestial bodies I encounter in systems to feel diverse and depth, so that every system feels unique and worth exploring. What does this mean in the context of work?
So I think what this is will be taking our current system generation JSONs and updating the rule sets for generation to fit the major planet moons perspective and the multi-scanning perspective, so that we have well-generated from the data perspective systems.
What
So
about
this
events? We had talked about planets feeling diverse because they had events that you could see on scan, like question marks or something that would tell you you're about to hit an event. Is that part of this?
I mean, I think that should eventually be part of that system and be integrated into that system. I don't know if this is the right place to stick it or not, because we would have to also re-architect how exploit potentially works with those.
Okay.
So right now we have taking our current system generation JSONs and upgrade the rule set to support new celestial object layout, moons, and regions.
This would not have regions.
This would not have regions. So just the celestial object layout and moons.
Yeah, regions would
Okay.
come when we do the big. There's
Okay.
a thing in a later update for like I guess when we go to the full-on
Is there,
planet system galaxy view. That's those
Yeah.
three layers completely.
and that's what I was going to ask, is there any impact here to long range scanning?
No.
Okay. So this is purely feel diverse and have depth, so that every system feels
The
So-
original card was made a long time ago, and it was the mechanical. It was basically adding a bunch more planet types and a bunch more, basically adding stuff that could spawn in, so it wasn't the same 5 things all the time. Whether or not that is still true, I don't think is as relevant.
Okay, so is there then, other than just jumping in and updating it, is there then a design discussion about what needs to be added or changed to make these feel diverse? Because like right now, like if I were jumping in to do this work, I would have no idea what I'm doing other than saying, okay, now each planet has an extension of moons, and how many moons could each type have, and what does that look like JSON-wise? That'd be the only work I would do in this card.
I have to admit, I'm a little confused too.
It kind of seems like it's mostly done. So I think we'd estimate it a lot lower.
So is that all this is basically celestial objects can now have moons, and the system generation JSON support moons?
I mean, I think we did a big, so from my perspective, we did a big visual overhaul on how we're presenting the data in the system generator. Now it's making sure that the data matches up with that rather than guesstimating it. If that's simpler, great. I think there's down the road, there's a bunch of stuff we want to do with that whole system. I don't know that right now is the appropriate time to do any of that.
Yeah. So this would be, to Carl's point, is this wouldn't even be changing it to saying moons right now. I mean, we have moons. That happens. So it would be doing. You look skeptical on if we have moons.
So I know we have in terms of like you're spawning one main body and you're spawning small bodies. But does the system
It doesn't-
generation?
It doesn't
differentiate?
matter that they can ever consider them moons or not. Like, that doesn't change anything. We should change the data that needs to potentially appear. That's where this piece
That's what I'm
is.
saying.
This,
Like,
this
that's
piece,
exactly.
not telling of moons. We should just go through and be like, okay, is there something like, does the resource data match with our visual thing now? Like, does it? I don't know.
Okay, if that is the case, this card is completely has no bearing. So as a player, I want the celestial bodies I encounter in systems to feel diverse and have depth. So every system feels unique and worth exploring. We have that's nonsensical with what we're saying this is. So let's figure out, what is this actual card? Is this even a card?
I think this is not a card.
Because it sounds like it's done. If what we're saying, ignoring what the title says, as I pretend you can see me covering it up on my screen. If we're just talking about what we think this is, it sounds like this work is done. Does anyone disagree with that?
I mean, I feel like both me and Ant are saying explicitly the work that needs to be done.
It's update the resource JSON so that the planets are generating what we expect them to generate now.
So let's
But
write
no matter what they are, and then it's changed also based on, so that there is diversity to what's going on in a system, from a data standpoint.
So write a card that explains that, because that's not this card.
I want celestial bodies I encounter to feel diverse and have gameplay depth.
I got it.
Okay, go for it. I feel like we've been hung up on this card a lot, constantly, for multiple sprints.
Because I think I don't think it actually describes what the title. I don't think describes what we're saying. We need to either create some acceptance definitions for what this is, or put some steps in of what we're saying we're going to do, or change the title, actually describe what the work is. So as a designer, I want the system JSONs to better match the intention of the new visual overhaul so that I can better match my design work to what the player will see. That makes sense. Okay, so that makes it clear that this is a back-end piece and this is not something that is player-facing. The results could eventually be player-facing, but the work itself is not. Okay. Do we feel that's an 8, or do we need to resize?
I would argue that it would be a little lower now.
Okay. Let's resize. 3, 2, 1. 3, 3, 5, 5. Backhanded 5.
Oh, sorry.
I
I've
just thought
gotten
you were
used to.
implying something.
No, I've gotten used to doing that here because doing
You don't want to
this
put
in
your hand in
Greece.
somebody's face, yeah.
It's
No,
the passive aggressive 5.
No, doing this in Greece is it's kind of, apparently it's like the equivalent of like fuck you. It's kind of like giving the middle finger. So
Right.
I've just gotten kind of in the habit of
Not.
doing that. Yeah.
Do they not high
Alright.
five then?
Yes, and you can wave too. Like it's not like that kind of stuff. It's just doing this.
Yeah.
This is like I think it's something along the lines of you're going to the devil or something, or like the devil take you, or I don't know exact.
There.
I might be
Spicy.
wrong. Anyway, sorry, that's a complete distraction.
Escalates quickly.
I know.
Make-
I estimated 5. I'll estimate 5 this way from now on.
Make ship picker ships be the button instead of 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 2, 1. 2 it is.
I think it's a 2 because art plus work.
As a nightly build patron, I'd like to static Steam build to be accessible there too. So basically, this is so that when somebody is a patron, they don't have to buy through Steam. Do we actually want to do that? Seems like the right thing to do since they're paying us every month.
Sure.
Static Steam build accessible there. Oh, you mean like so we can push nightly builds to Steam and just have people that we give out to patrons?
No,
because
no.
patron is synced with itch right now.
Yeah.
And so they get access to our nightly builds. We push one up there every night so people can pull them down. This would be every time we push a Steam build, we also push a build to the patron location on itch so that they can download and install the Steam version.
So basically, if you're a patron who's getting access to the nightly builds, you also get access to the current Steam build, so you don't need to buy it on Steam.
So we'd either do it by pushing it there or generating them a Steam key. One of the two.
Yeah.
However we want to solve that. Which we can link Steam keys through itch. That is a possibility too. So I'm assuming we want to do that. Does anyone disagree that that's a good thing to do?
I mean, I'm fine with it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, seems good.
3, 2, 1.
2,
1, a 3, a 2. Yep. Okay. 2 it is. Create UE launch splash image 600 by 200. 3, 2, 1. 1s, 5s.
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 I don't make splash images.
Okay. Yeah.
As a designer, I don't want to combine same type resource caches on celestial bodies. Adjust scanning reveal amounts accordingly. 3, 2, 1.
Yep, that's where I was going.
2s.
Whoa, we had unanimity just now.
You're not too many.
Dry run of Steam build and publish process. 3, 2, 1.
I don't even
No.
know what this is. What?
I don't know how long.
I'm not sure either.
Is this after we've done the pipeline?
Yes,
If it's just running it, then I think it's a 1, right?
Yeah. If this is
Oh,
just
okay.
Well,
Or-
it's also
I'm
fixing
staying
it.
clear here. So when we push a build to Steam, what does that mean? What are the things we need to check? What are the things we need to update? What kind of news stories do we need to publish? Do we need to update the Steam the Steam comments? Do we need to post something on the website? How do we train everyone to do the work?
This does
Make
not
it an
sound
A-
like what the card is saying.
A dry run of the Steam build and the publish process.
Wouldn't it
So
be coming up with what the Steam build and publish process is?
Okay, creation and dry run.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Okay. All right. We ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
Still
5, a
don't
1,
know.
a 3, a 5, a 2.
Oh, my bad.
So
I
let's
meant
go
a
to
2.
a 3.
3
I
is
meant a
fine.
3.
I don't think it's necessarily going to be hard. It's just going to be thinking through it and bits and pieces. So, as a player, I'd like to have the LRS
Long
ability
range scan.
and window. There we go. And window to be more closely tied together so that I am prompted to engage with new choices.
This was basically people were saying that when they were clicking the long range scanning thing, the window never came up. They weren't ever prompted to go look at the window, and so the two things actually felt pretty disconnected, even though they are intrinsically linked.
I feel like this might be a subtask of, as a designer, I would like to understand how to communicate major game state changes to the player.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So do we want to add this as a line item in that card so that it's specifically called out?
Sure.
If I can find it.
Excuse me.
There we go.
Same.
So if people, in terms of the systems that need to communicate better, I just added a checklist. So if people want to add specific ones they know of to that card, feel free. I will eliminate that as a. So, all right. What does it mean for us to go live on Steam for current playtesters?
So this is messaging.
So this is going to be messaging and talking about what does it actually mean? What does it mean? What do they gain access to? What do we want them to continue to engage on Discord? Is there some activity for them in that sense, or does Discord now become more of just our public Discord, less playtest focused? So I just think there's some positioning, conversations, and then communication.
Sure.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 2, a 1. I'll lean towards Carl and Brandon if it's a 1 or a 2.
Don't flip us off, Brandon.
Brandon's making
2?
bunnies, shadow bunnies.
It's a 1.
Shadow bunnies sounds like a really fun event in our game.
From the void.
From yeah.
Shadow bunnies from the void.
Hop, hoppity hop.
Method for turning off cheat menu in Steam builds.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wait,
3,
what?
2. Method for turning off.
Honestly, method for turning off all debug crap in Steam builds.
Yeah. That's true. Method for turning off cheat menu, debug. Info.
Honestly, it's just because the Steam build is actually just going to be a. It won't be a development build. It will be a crap. There's a term they have in there for it. It's not a debug. It's not development. It is release. It's a release build. So it turns off in release builds. Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. 1, a 2, a 2, a 3, a 2, a 1, 3. Let's call it a 2.
Sure.
I feel like that is also an insult, George.
It depends on what part of
This?
Europe you're in.
This?
All I was actually, so in my head, I was going ba 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 ba.
Dun, dun,
Bum,
dun,
bum,
dun,
bum, 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 bum. I don't know why.
As a
Just
player,
felt
I want
appropriate for
a
Space Game.
toggleable option to auto pause the game. This is now gone. Yeah.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah, because this
'Cause we
will
did-
any work will come out of this will come out of design time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kill.
It's implemented if we
with
want it.
fire.
That's what I was saying. Like, I think this is. All right. Okay. So in release 7, currently, we have 104 points.
Woo! Ooh.
And let's go back to.
That's a big one.
Back
Yeah.
to our sprint
Big.
board.
We got a fat and sassy sprint ahead of us.
And
great.
then. So we got through listed in this last sprint, we got through 69, 71 points. But we also had a pretty massive list of added in this last sprint. So 1, 2. I mean, it's
insane. The amount of bugs and added stuff that we fixed is incredible.
We got really good, it seemed like, playtester feedback last sprint. Did that lead to a lot more bugs?
It did. We got a bunch of bugs from there. And we found a bunch of bugs and suggestions and our daily playtests were just producing a ton of stuff that we were like, yep, fix that.
How great is it that we could do that now again?
Yeah.
The game is good enough to justify it.
actually do it.
Pretty dope.
Okay, so what do we feel about that? Do we feel that this is something we can actually commit to? Does anyone have any vacation 2 weeks?
Let's see.
Any what?
Vacations, time away. Or is everybody full time in
no.
the next 2 weeks?
Check.
I will likely be front loading my next 2 weeks with this first week because my second week is going to be in Croatia, and
Nice.
I don't know anything about the country. So
Okay.
they don't even use euros. So I
Yeah.
have no idea what hurdles I'm going to face
Yeah.
living there.
Okay.
Whereas I do not have any hurdles here.
Right. Okay. And Will, you're still going to be kind of part time, yeah? Because you're doing baby brain and doing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting better, but yeah.
No, that's not a waggle. That's I expected you to be out for a couple more months anyway. But you're here, and I appreciate it.
So I have
Gonna try
nothing.
and do 1 card a day at least.
Nice.
Hans, please say waggle more often. That was
Waggle.
so cute. That just made my heart, I don't know, do something that's
Waggle.
positive.
Okay. It made your heart waggle. Exactly.
It made my heart waggle. That was really cute.
Brandon,
I have
you were saying?
2 doctor's appointments, unfortunately, during the day instead of the mornings in the coming weeks. But that I will just be out for like an hour or something like that.
Okay.
Which I can make up easily.
All right. So we have mostly a full staff going through. 104 still feels like a little bit of a push for where we are points wise.
Push it good.
But I feel like that if we're gonna push any week, this is probably it right before the Steam build.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are we comfortable with this?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so why don't we go through? Everybody can go and champion cards you think you're appropriate champions on, and then add yourself to the cards you feel like you would like to either be updated or contribute to. We can do that, and then this afternoon we'll run through and start building out plans.
I already did that.
Oh, crap.
I'll do it for a couple more. And we label ourselves for things we're championing, but we join cards that we don't want to champion but want to be a part of.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
It's okay that we add ourselves as members to cards that we're championing, right?
Yep.
I mean,
Yes,
that's
you
fine.
should.
Yeah,
Because I would like to see the
gonna
updates to those cards, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just add Carl to this week 39 video. You are my validator.
It's fun.
Oh my god, I care about too many of these cards.
I know. I feel the same way. I've already picked what I'm championing, but
I gotta make sure I don't champion too much.
I like the content evaluation through playtesting. I feel like this is the Eternal War card.
Yeah.
The Forever War, excuse me.
The Eternal Dubers.
I think Eternal
also-
War is from Diablo.
Yeah, Forever War is a very famous sci-fi book, though.
Yeah. Oh god, I gotta get on Dubers. Fuck. who am I doing?
Dubers!
You can take Dubers if you want them.
Dubers.
You could champion the hell out of that if you want to.
Oh no. Oh, did I just move a card out of the release? Oh, friendship. Did I just do that?
What'd you do?
I have no idea. I clicked and I did it incorrectly and something went somewhere. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I don't
We
even.
can
How do
probably
you
look
view
at
it?
We can probably look at the log and see what happened.
I have opinions about planet names, so I'm putting myself on this. As was clearly demonstrated by this.
I don't see George moving anything.
No, neither.
Okay, maybe I thought I moved something, but I managed to do a last second save and not move it after all. I don't know. I felt like I moved something. Ugh.
Okay, what do we have left? We've got
Actually, I'm
faction
doing-
system. Oh, okay. Let me know when everybody's done.
I'm championing that one. Make sure that has a champion.
Wait a minute. Hey, Carl, can I put myself as a champion for the planet names thing? Not because you can't. Actually, never mind. It doesn't matter. I'm probably going to do the work for it, but
Oof.
Meaning, sorry, I'm really going to do the UI work for it. But it's actually the minor part. That's not the major part.
This sprint is a heckin' chonker.
Yeah.
That was
This
a
is an
good one.
absolute unit of a sprint.
Oh yeah.
I really like that subreddit.
What's the
Absolute
subreddit?
unit.
Absolute
Oh,
units.
unit.
Yeah. It's just basically like 90% of it is fat cats and dogs.
Oh, sure. Yes.
I love it. Ow, oh my god. Anthony, you gotta post your cat on absolute units.
He's not a
Holy,
unit though. Like he's not fat at all.
it doesn't have to be fat, it can just be big. Your cat is huge. Your cat is an absolute unit.
That is an
Okay.
absolute unit of
So,
a cat, that's for sure.
As a player, I'd like Quest to have a narrative element. Does not have a champion.
I would say I can, but I really don't think I'm gonna be able to. with
Just
everything.
that,
You know
just
what?
that.
I'm
me
already
on,
owning like most of that.
Carl?
I'll just fucking own it too. Let's do it. Sorry, I don't know why I f-bombed that. That wasn't. Whatever. Sorry, what?
Content evaluation through playtesting. You want to own that one, Carl?
Sure.
Uh,
I mean, I think that one is far more appropriate for Brandon to own and me to own the narrative thing. But either way,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What
Then
should
you
I
two
own?
work it out.
What should I
yeah,
own?
swap that shit.
you should own the content
Oh,
of
shit, we should have got-
the Eternal War.
So,
Okay.
when we come down to this one, as a player, I want to be able to repair damaged installations. We didn't actually talk about it because it was already had a 2 on it. Do we even want to do this?
So, isn't there something that currently
No,
damages
there was a
an
there was a bug. There was a bug. There's an event that
Yeah.
damages installations, and
Yeah,
there's no
that's
way
what
to
I was gonna
fix it.
Yeah.
And someone got it, and I'm like, well, we either need to put repairing in, or change
Take
that
the
thing so it doesn't damage. Nothing can get damaged right now.
So do we? I don't feel like the game necessarily benefits a lot
BRB, one sec.
from
Okay.
damaging
not
installations.
at the
right now.
not at the moment. We don't have enough things
Yeah.
that do it, and that stuff. So my thought is remove this for the time being. We don't
I
worry
agree.
about this before Steam release.
Okay, let's
And
go
just
into the
add a
battle.
bug. Add a bug that says
We have the bug already added.
okay, that there's an
Alright.
event that
Yes.
We have
I'm
people on
taking
everything.
Dubers
Cool.
after looking at everything.
You
Duber
take
man.
Dubers. Do it. Get rid of me. I don't want them.
All right, here we go.
I've done nothing but push Dubers off for weeks at this point.
I love Dubers.
Dubers.
It won't add me to it. What the? Do I need to make 2 labels just to be cool? What if it was a blue label?
Okay.
I have the dark
I-
blue label. Don't you dare take it.
So I think we're good. I think this afternoon we'll go through and we work on our plans for our cards, send our information out to the people who are on our cards. Just as a side note, customer service representatives that are watching our stream, I sent an email to a customer service representative saying, hey, yeah, we could 9 a.m. 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. tomorrow. This was 5 days ago. I just received a response. 10 a.m. is perfect. Looking forward to speaking with you. So not only is it not the same time window, between 9 and 10 a.m., they want to do it, and it's 5 days late. That's ridiculous.
That sounds like fun and interesting gameplay.
This is the fun of making games right here.
This is The Sims in real. No, this is Game Dev Tycoon.
All right. Anything
Actually,
else
I
we
had a
want
lot
to
of
do?
fun
In
with
the...
that game.
Yeah, me too. I bought it
Anything
for my.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Hans,
It's
please.
your turn, Hans. You're the
Please
best.
go.
Is there anything else we want to do today for? Or are we done?
I mean, we can be good.
All right.
I think we're
Yep.
good.
Done. Gone.
Thanks,
Out.
everybody.
Like they're all.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the new Twitch Prime sub, Casey. And catch you all tomorrow. Bye.
Have a good one. See you. Bye.
Bye.